You're que Knicks fans. Welcome to episode 47 of Knicks Fans Wildin'. And we're recording this post trade deadline. The New York Knicks made one move, and that was to trade for Josh Hart, who's a good player, averaging 9 points, 8 rebounds. And I want to debunk some of the things that I saw before I bring up Don Juan. I don't believe Josh Hart will be a rental. He has a weird contract where he has a player option next year, but it's non-guaranteed. But Josh Hart's agent is a CEA, Aaron Mintz, and that Josh Hart was Leon Rose's client, and Leon Rose left him to the agent that he has now. So I think that conversation had to have happened beforehand. So I don't think he's a rental. I think the Knicks know a number where they'll feel comfortable going for him. And number two, the Knicks traded a first round pick, but it was protected. People just keep saying like the Knicks traded a first round pick, but it was a protected pick. So that means that the Knicks make it to the play-in and lose in the play-in, they would still be considered a lottery team, so they would still keep their pick. But if the Knicks, let's say, make the play-in or make the playoffs in general, then the pick will convey to the Portland Trailblazers. So, look, after this move, the Knicks, they showed their hands. They are going to go and try to make the playoffs this year. So, what's a better addition than adding someone who is getting 0 minutes to somebody who's gonna contribute to this team? But let me bring in Don Juan now, man. You already know the vibes, Don Juan. Welcome to the show, bro. How you feeling?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Nick fans? What's going on, Triple M, man? No good it be here once again. Don Juan in the building, Knicks fans wild and coming out off the ball network. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like and comment. Let us know how you feel. A lot of things went on today, a lot of deals. Never seen so many picks, so many second round picks at that get traded and moved today. But it was exciting nonetheless. Everybody stuck on their phones. I don't even know what my time on my phone today was, but I was on it all day. My phone may be a little messed up. I might have to look over the batteries. Maybe have to replace it after today. But nonetheless, you know what it is, man. What a trade deadline in Nick fashion. You know, down to the wire. A lot of moves in the last second. Zach Levine this, Bogdanovich that. I mean, we heard it all. Obi Toppin, a lot of interest. That was one of the biggest surprises right there too. A lot of interest in Obi Toppin, man. And maybe we could take a lot of that interest and take it over to the offseason and make some moves with him too. But we'll see, man. We'll see. It was definitely an exciting trade deadline, and Knicks made some moves. So let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah, my screen time is nasty, man. It's just nasty. I was on my phone all day, like just nasty. I don't even want to check it, man. I just when they be sending me a notification Sunday like your screen time was this for the week. I'm gonna just not even look at that because
Just ignore it. Just
that shit
ignore
was
it.
nasty today. But let's bring in six man of the year. He wanted a couple players who didn't get traded, but he's gonna come with his optimistic goggles on about Josh Hart. The one and only Zebo. What's good, bro?
My God, man. Yo, it's crazy. Through all the heartache the Knicks puts us through with all these games, yo, I would expect at least some spiciness from this trade deadline, but it's all right. It's all right. I'll take it. I'll take Josh Hart.
I told you he's gonna come with some optimistic. He'll take that's all you gotta say. He'll
Yeah,
take
yeah.
Josh Hart. And yeah, fellas, let's get right into it. Josh Hart. Man, Josh Hart. This guy he's a good rebounder, averaging 8 rebounds a game. Um, the Knicks struggle with defensive rebounding, so this is a great addition because he's gonna give somebody who can help on the boards. Um, he's averaging 9 points a game. He's shooting 30% from three pointer, which is way down from his career average of 34. But I see that he's only taking two threes a game, so
hmm hmm
I mean, that's kind of an anomaly. I would feel like think maybe he needs to take some more attempts, but looks like he's really crashing the board. Well, when you have Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons, I mean, they shoot all the threes, so you just have to cut and get the rebound. So it's gonna be an interesting dynamic, man. I'm assuming he's gonna come off the bench. I think the starting five will still hold firm, and I don't know. I want to get your guys' take on this. I don't know if Tiv will expand the rotation to 10. I think is gonna stay at 9, and our guy Deuce McBride will become situational, which sucks because he was really starting to ball out. Made some couple key plays against the 76ers and the Magic, two Knicks wins. So, uh, start with you, Don Juan. Josh Hart, man. Talk about the guy. What role do you see him playing on this team? And what are some of the intangibles you think he brings to this Knicks roster?
Well, role on the team is gonna be tough, man. There's a lot of players that pretty much play the same position. One thing I would say about Josh Hart is that he could lock. He's a lockdown defender. Could guard a lot of positions. So he's gonna be able to play. One through he could guard 1 through 4, 1 through 3 for sure, but 4 at times. So he'll be able to flex a position. Be playing a small ball 4, could play the 3-2. So it's gonna be real interesting how Tibbs plays it out. But in terms of minutes and rotation, I'm not really sure what to expect from Tibbs, man. Tibbs has been playing a lot of the guys a lot of minutes. Personally, I think he might find a way to just lessen the boatload of minutes he's giving his players, considering that we need to give Josh Hart some minutes and some time. He's gonna, like you said, Triple M. He is gonna come in and replace McBride in the rotation. We'd assume, and McBride has been, playing 10 to 15 minutes, if that. So to think that Josh Hart is gonna play that same amount of minutes is ridiculous. He's gonna, if we traded the first round pick for him, I mean, we did trade the first round pick for Cam Reddish and he barely hit the court. But if we traded the first round pick for Josh Hart and he's a Tibbs guy, Tibbs already commenting about he's a great player, CAA, all that. We expect him to be getting more than 10, 15 minutes. So I'm assuming, like I said, he's gonna be taking minutes off of everybody on that when it comes to guards and wing players. What he's gonna bring for us this season, man. I mean, the guy is the kind of just the Swiss Army knife, is what people call it. He does it all. He Yeah, he has been little iffy from 3-point line this year, shooting 30%, but he career wise 34. Last year he shot 34, 37%. So maybe it was just a down year. Maybe just needs a new place. A fresh start with the Knicks could change that. And but he's a solid defender. Like I said, he could guard many positions on the floor. He's quick enough to guard the smaller guys. He's strong enough to guard bigger guys. He plays hard every night. That's something that we can't question, is his effort. The guy goes hard. And you mentioned Triple M. He's a good rebounder. I say great rebounder for at least for his size. The guy is 6'5", and he's averaging just almost as much boards as most power forwards in the league. So that says a lot about a guy like him and his character. And that's pretty much a typical Tips guy. The guy that's gonna go all out, bring energy, and a guy that you can rely on both ends of the floor. And he's a decent passer. I'm not gonna lie. His last 4 years, 3 years, he's averaging 4 assists. So that's something that the Knicks need, is another player that could pass the ball around. You know how the Knicks could get on this ISO dribble, dribble, dribble type of offense every now and then. So not saying he's gonna be a playmaker, but he's gonna be making the right plays and winning plays at that. So I'm not expecting championship or bust now that we got Josh Hart, but it's something that's gonna definitely help us, and it's gonna make us a team to fear in the playoffs. Not like I said, not a championship run, but a team in a 7-game series. You're gonna make it hard. You're gonna be physical, and we ain't gonna make it easy for these teams.
Yeah, Josh Hart, you made up some great points. So, like I stated in the beginning, and you talked about Don Juan, like I feel like he'll be back next year. So I think he's really gonna bring pressure to a lot of the guys. I see like R.J. Barrett and Obi Toppin. I really believe that. Listen, they're really gonna let Josh Hart play a lot of minutes. I think he's gonna take some of these guys' minutes, and the role on the team, he's gonna do everything. He's gonna be that Swiss Army knife, like you mentioned, Don Juan. And I really think that this, man, I love RJ, I love Obi, but I think that these guys, they gonna look to be a little bit more expendable. I mean, it really won't make sense for me until like this is for off season. We gotta kick the can down for the off season, but I think Josh Hart is gonna bring a lot to this team. We traded Cam Reddish, who's getting 0 minutes per game, and now we got a player who's gonna produce. It sucks, man, that Deuce might become situational because I think Tibbs just loves this 9 man rotation. So I think he's gonna insert Hart, take out McBride. So that's trash to me because I really liked what Deuce was doing. But Tibbs Tibbs minutes distribution has always been extreme. Like he always plays his guys a lot of minutes, and it's gonna be so interesting, man. There's gonna be so much drama, like with this minutes distribution because it needs to be even. Like you can't throw Obi out there 5 6 minutes a game. Like he needs to get in some sort of rhythm. We saw what happened last time when RJ got benched down the stretch. I mean, what if Hart is playing good or he has somebody's number playing good defense and RJ struggling like he has been in the past? What's gonna happen there? So it's gonna be a lot. There's a lot of questions, but overall, I like the move because he's gonna do a lot with the rebounding. He averages 3.9 assists, basically 4 assists. So when he's out there with quickly, give somebody that extra ball handler who could find the open man, find the cutters. He's probably gonna play with RJ and Obi, so Obi's always cutting. Hardenstein is always around the basket, so he's gonna be able to find these guys. So I like the move. It's a ed move. It's just what the Knicks been doing. Cleaning up around the margins. It's not elevating us. Kendrick Perkins said this is gonna make us a second round team. I don't know about that, but it
Yeah,
depends who we play.
even even Richard Jefferson said that, and Richard Jefferson's been real critical on the
I don't
Knicks.
know. We gotta check if these guys change agents. I think they part of CAA now or something like that. The mob is real. The mob is real. But yeah, Zebo, I want to get your take on this. What do you think? Do you like the Josh Hart trade? What do you think his role is going to be on this team? Now, what intangibles do you think he's going to bring to the squad?
Yeah, it's like honestly, don't want to hit the nail on the head. Like if I think it's like this is the prototypical Tips type of guy on our team, and so I like the move. It's a solid move. Like as Don Juan stated, he can guard one through three, which is something that we do need, especially because I feel like we have put that we put that responsibility on Grimes to go ahead and guard the opposition's team's number one scorer. So that is someone that we can go ahead and whenever Grimes does need the minutes out, we can go ahead and put Josh Hart in there. Josh Hart in there. But yeah, man, this is a guy that does that does all the little things very well. He can pass, so he does have a little bit of playmaking skills. So whenever he is with that second unit with quickly, you will know that you do have you have an athletic bench coming out. They're gonna be good in transition. And so yeah, man, I mean to me this is a solid move. Again, like you said before, where we're replacing someone that basically didn't give us anything. And again, it wasn't his fault. It just is what it is, but he wasn't giving us anything. So to add someone that can bring a little bit of anything, a little bit of everything, that's not selfish, and that also has a good relationship with our top guy, with our point guard, is
Hmm.
yeah, man, it's a win-win.
That's a good point. That's something that we didn't mention, and I think
Hmm.
that's gonna be huge, especially when it comes to the contract situation where does Josh Hart take a team friendly deal because he has a guy like Jalen Brunson there, plus the CAA connection, and plus a winning team that is gonna be contending this year at least to make a little run in the playoffs.
Right. Now, yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a Villanova guy, so I feel like all the players that do come from Villanova, they're like their basketball IQ is very high. So that's what I expect him. Like I expect him once he's on the floor, he's gonna make the right plays. He's gonna do the little things for us that we do need, and yeah, he's gonna bring that spark on defense. So yeah, bro, it's a solid move. I mean, again, I don't think it's definitely gonna be game changing. But again, do I see us going to the conference finals, second round? I don't know, but this definitely does help because again, we did need help with our bench.
Yeah, man. To me, fellas, I'm gonna be honest. This move was basically the Knicks just reaffirming what they're trying to do, and that's to get a star. Because you heard these rumors with OG. or Zach Levine. You know, two players that are solid players. Well, Zach Levine, you could say he's a different version from OG, but the asking price was too high. So the Knicks pivoted and went to Josh Hart. So the Knicks are trying to just improve on the margins, improve on the edges till they get that star. And you think about it, fellas, this summer when the whole Donovan Mitchell saga was going on, you know, the Knicks didn't really know what they had in Deuce McBride. They didn't see this evolution from Emmanuel quickly. They didn't. They didn't. Jericho Sims was just a raw prospect. So these guys are developing. They're maturing. So now the Knicks are gonna feel better now to offer more picks. So I'm gonna ask you guys these scenarios. What do you think if we go back to last summer and the Jazz asked for Grimes, RJ, and the three picks? You know, before the Knicks were like, nah, we're not trying to trade wings. You know, we got to keep at least one wing and stuff like that. But now, listen, you added this Josh Hart, and you see what second round picks got you with this trade deadline. You know, you can throw five and get a Sadiq Bey or get
Yeah.
somebody, you know, like a wing if you lose one. So I think if you go back to this summer and the Knicks see what they have, because it was hard for them to see because these guys were so raw. Quickly was like, what do you really know quickly? But now these guys are starting to feel comfortable. So this trade just reaffirmed they're star hunting, bros. Like that's what they want. That's their end game. They're going for that star. People were asking me today, like when I was telling them this, they were like, "Who is that star?" I don't know. Like every year, you could go back so many X amount of years lately in the NBA. Stars get traded. Who would have thought Donovan Mitchell was gonna get traded? Who would have thought Kevin Durant was gonna
Mm.
get traded, man? Like every year, it's something up. Something comes up, and the Knicks are just ready to pounce. And that's why I don't think that they went. They could have got OG Anunoby if they wanted to. They could have got Zach Levine if they really want to. They have these assets. They have these pieces, and you heard it with Obi. They said that they was asking for a steep price. Like they're just not selling off pieces. Like they're gonna keep improving on the margin till somebody says, "Man, I want to go to the Knicks." So this trade deadline just reaffirmed that for me personally. I want to see what you guys think.
No, no, you're absolutely right, bro. I mean, the biggest thing is that they're staying patient because you're absolutely right. They could have pulled the trigger. Like again, we did have the assets where we could have gone any two of those players, but they just said, listen, it's just not the right time. Again, there's more with those two players specifically. There's more questions than actually answers. So, and I think, and especially with with everything going on, you want to be sure with the person you actually bringing into your organization. So yeah, man, the fact that they being patient with it, yeah, I can't complain, bro. Like again, there was no, again, would I had liked it, would I had liked another shooter? Yeah, but again, I'm not complaining. Like they did what they were supposed to this trade deadline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I agree too, man. I would say that like we possibly could have traded, let's say, for a deal that we end up being tied in with a long term contract. Let's say like a Bogdanovich who was rumored at the end there. We were in talks, and even a couple weeks back there were talks to get Bogdanovich, and he had a deal that I think he's tied up for until 2025 for like a 20 some mil a year, and just based on the Knicks not even rolling the dice on a move like that just shows you that they also want to stay flexible
Hmm.
in a time where you just never know. Josh Hart, like you said, he has a player option, but that is a non-guaranteed contract. Never heard of that before, but it still goes to show you that is that's how flexible we're trying to stay. And even just giving up a first round pick shows that all right, I think it's time to at least start trading these picks. Maybe not go all crazy, guns blazing, 3 picks, 4 picks, Kevin Durant style, but one pick just to show you, like, look, we're trying to make the right moves, calculated moves, build around the margins because we did get better, but we like I said, it's not swinging for the fences. But a first round pick, nonetheless, we're not gonna use all these picks. You know that Tibbs ain't gonna play these rookies. How much more do we got to develop these guys? The team already got 12 guys that we're probably gonna have for the next at least 2 years. Why are we thinking about and making a big fuss out of these first round picks? We got to start trading them. And look, we got a 2023 pick coming from Dallas. that we also got to start thinking about. Maybe we end up shipping it off this off, and maybe this off season, like you said, Triple M. There's always a superstar that's gonna be on the fence, ready to jump ship based on the certain situations. And maybe based on how we played this off season, we could impress some of these guys, and somebody might say, "Hey, I want to go to the Knicks." Like Donovan Mitchell fake, hinted at it, but at the same time, I early in the season, I was like, "Damn, we should have got Donovan Mitchell." But based on how we played this season so far, how the season's played out, I was kind of just stuck in the moment. But based on how the season's played out, I'm kind of happy we didn't make that move, and just seeing how it plays out. Because at the end of the day, I'm not sure how Jalen backcourt of Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell will hold up in a 7 game series.
Yeah, I mean, they would have found a way to make it work, but let's not go into that Donovan Mitchell rabbit hole, man.
Yeah,
We talked
yeah. I
about,
don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk
yeah,
about
we
that
went
because
to
I don't
talk,
know about that. I don't know if I feel the same way.
yeah, man.
Donovan Mitchell's on the Cavs right now, and we're just a couple games behind them. So
It's 14. It's a little significant here with 26 to go. But listen, besides that, we're 3.5 games away from Brooklyn. We still play them, I believe, 2 more times or 3 more times. I gotta check. So the Knicks with this Josh Hart move, man, they're going for the playoffs, bro. It's definitely going to be playoff or somebody's gonna get fired. Whether it's coach or GM is gonna let go. Um, they protected themselves with the pick being protected, but they really going for this playoff thing. And if the Knicks don't make the playoffs, it's gonna be a huge disappointment. They want to sell some games at Madison Square Garden, man, for the playoffs. And the fans, I think, fans are always going to complain, So they're a little iffy about this. But Don Juan, you mentioned the first round picks. I think like you can't pick all these guys, and the Knicks for sure are gonna have. Well, they were gonna have 2 picks before they traded that one, so they're for sure gonna have the Dallas pick. I'm sure they scoured the draft. They did their pre-draft. They know where players might fall or what kind of players they're gonna target. And you never know what this Wizards pick too. I mean, the Knicks Wizards pick I think is 1 through 16 protected.
yeah,
I mean, the Wizards can easily sneak in. Right now, the Wizards are 25 and 29, so they're about 2 games out from the playoffs. So you just never know, man. You just never know. But Don Juan, what you thinking about uh, letting go of that first rounder?
like I said, man, I'm okay with it just because we have a plethora of picks. And how much more time are we gonna be stuck in this? Like, oh, you gotta draft these young guys. You gotta develop them. Honestly, just based off Nick's Twitter, we've had enough of. I personally have had enough of guys complaining that guys are sitting that they need to play to develop and whatnot. When we already got the guys that we have. We already got our core team. Why are we worried about, oh, let's get more young guys? Like, nah, at this point we gotta build the team either with vets or just solid rotation guys to continue moving forward. We already got you got Julius Randle who's the leader of the team.
All
Brunson,
star.
all-star. Brunson, borderline all-star. Should have made it, but that's another story. But
He's gonna be an all star. He's gonna be an all star.
yeah, let's see. This with these trades, there definitely is some open spots.
Well, Jalen Brown is he
I
got
saw
hurt.
Jalen
Jalen
Brown.
Brown is
Yeah, Jalen Brown got hurt as well. So we will see that. We will see what happens. But we got our pillars, like I like to call them, in Brunson, Randall, and RJ has been a little bit
very
shaky
shaky.
as of late. But that's our third pillar, no matter what. And we got to build around them. And I just had enough with all these young guys, man. We've been complaining about these young guys playing, and we already got the young guys that we need and we want already on the team. Why are we worried about? Oh, but next year's draft and the next, bro. We got 10 picks from here to 2029. We got one pick for sure with Dallas because that pick is going to convey. But then possibly the Wizards, like you said, if I'm not mistaken, there's Detroit as well.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of things
Milwaukee
there's a
as
lot of
well.
picks.
2025.
There's a lot of picks that we do have on hand that we're not gonna pick. not gonna play. We're not gonna pick them, and if we do, we're not gonna play them. So why are we worried about? Because well, we're not even playing. We're not even picking in the top either. It's gonna be a middle, uh, after lottery to mid first round pick. So I'm
I
not.
was
I'm
in
not
this.
gonna let you go over on this. I was going crazy, arguing with a Knicks fan yesterday, talking about but the picks this, the pick that. I'm like, bro. He's like, no, but you can't be thinking short sighted. Personally, I think thinking about picks is a little bit short sighted when we're actually competing for a playoff. We're in a playoff hunt right now, and you thinking about picks. Come on, bro.
I was on a Knicks space yesterday, and somebody was arguing like that, like, man, you just can't trade first rounders. This is a generational draft. And the guy, I guess he looked at Tankathon and he looked at who the Knicks were supposed to pick, mocked, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Who is this player?" And the guy was like, "Man, I don't watch the draft." And the guy was like, "So what are you talking about then? So what is this generational draft that you talk about then? You just don't. You just complaining to complain if you don't even know who this player is, and you're mad that the Knicks traded them for Josh Hart, who's gonna be serviceable for this team. So we'll see, fellas. But moving on, the Knicks, they won their last two games, so I don't want to harp on that too much, even though it's important. The Knicks right now standing at, they're standing at 30 and 26, 4 games left to the All Star break. They're standing half a game away from Miami for that sixth seed, and they're standing three away from Brooklyn for that fifth seed. So it's gonna be interesting time. So I want to give you guys thoughts here as I look at these next 4 games. Tomorrow against the 76ers, we're going to be looking for revenge after the Knicks beat them at home on Sunday. Then we come back to the Garden and play Utah, Brooklyn, and the Hawks. Nice
Mm.
4 games, and then we go to the All Star break. So Zebo, I want to see what's your prediction. What you looking for in these 4 games?
Yeah, man. I mean, for the next four games, I mean, as far as what our record is going to be for those next four games, I see
No,
three and
no,
one.
3-1. Okay.
I see three. I see three. I see three and one. But as far as my expectations, honestly, I expect to see. Obviously, we probably won't see Jar to probably the second or third game. So, to see a little bit of how he's going to adjust to this team is going to be interesting. But honestly, these next four games, I'm kind of looking for Jalen Brunson to kind of stamp the fact that he might take one of those reserve spots from one of the All Stars. So that's honestly what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the Jalen Brunson to really come up big these next four games, just so that he can solidify one of those All Star spots, for one of the injured dudes. So. That's what I'm really looking at, and also just to see how Josh Hart is going to fit. Because honestly, I do see him actually contributing super well in this team. Like again, the fact that he's not selfish, and he's gonna, the fact that he's not selfish and he is going to play defense, and we'll see how the late game adjustments are going to be with him. That is something I am going to be looking at. It's probably not going to be too much. It's again, he probably won't play to the second or third game, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, bro. Great point. For me, I can't do predictions. I gotta go 0-4 because when we do that, they do good. So I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I kind of want to see the Jalen Brunson who continues. He's been playing great basketball, man. He took over that Orlando game, came up big in that 76ers game as well. So um, listen, every game is important, fellas. There's only 56 games we've played, so there's what is that, 25, 26 games left in the season.
Yeah.
So literally every game is important, and that's kind of what I want to see from the Knicks, because Brunson mentioned this last game against the Magic, where he said the Knicks weren't ready and they came out flat. Like, and Julius said that against, I think it was the Brooklyn game, where he was like, we weren't ready. So you got to lock in, fellas. I know you're tired, and I know you see the All Star break coming, and it's a little rest for you and your family, but you got to lock in every game, especially after this trade that the Knicks made, because they're going for the playoffs. So what I want to see is the Knicks locking in. They got to lock in for all 48 minutes, and I want to see Tibbs tinker with this rotation to find that perfect rotation, because listen, we're gonna play the Bucks, or we're gonna play the Sixers, or we're gonna play one of these top 4 teams, and We need to be locked in. So for me, I want to start seeing this locked in these last 26 games. Let's go on a run. Why have we been such a roller coaster this whole season? Why do we beat the Celtics and then lose to the Lakers? We beat the 76ers, we beat the Magic. Why not? Let's go into Philly and let's take one. You know what I mean? Or let's go 3-1 on this one. Let's take care of home court advantage and beat Utah and beat Brooklyn and beat the Hawks. That's what I want to see. It's time to really lock in for the Knicks. All year I've been like, "Oh, they're mid." That's just been my excuse. Okay, they're mid. They're mid. Whatever, whatever. But now I want to see a little consistency, and I want to see us get some big wins, which we've been getting. So now let's keep it going. Don Juan.
I would say that a little bit of everything you guys said. I mean, I do want to see how Tibbs, figures it out, figures out a good lineup to roll with, especially a reliable lineup coming when it comes to the fourth quarter, because that's been a big, it's always questionable. We never know who's going to close out the game. One day is Quinn Grimes, IQ, Brunson. Another day is IQ, Brunson, RJ, or no IQ, and they go with Grimes and RJ, Brunson. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I do think Josh Hart will play tomorrow against the Sixers. I think he's going to hit the ground running. I feel like Tibbs is going to throw him in the fire right away. But one thing I would say is that I want to see RJ's adjustment. I feel like the fire is on right now, pressure's on. How does he handle it? I don't know. I feel like there's been a bit of fire throughout the season. Tibbs already has proven that he's ready and willing to sit him down if need be, and that's something that already should have been some fire behind RJ, and it hasn't shown yet. Last game he played, he wasn't that good, and I feel like we need to see more from him, both offensively and defensively. Maybe even more defensively, because that's something that I feel like that's more effort, and he hasn't been showing that. But with an addition of Josh Hart, even more pressure, because now everybody's really fighting for minutes out there. Everybody's stepping up. You got IQ playing well. You got Grimes. He's on and off offensively, but defensively he's there, and he's offensively at least passing the ball, making the right play. So, but let's see what you're gonna do, RJ. It's time to lock in. Everybody on the team is needs to step up here. Let's. I feel like it's only right to finish this first half or even 2/3 of the season on a good note. We want to go into All-Star break knowing like, all right, we finished strong. When we come back, let's keep it going. We got a nice representation in the All-Star break with Randall Sims, Quinn Grimes in the rising in the what is it, Rising Star Challenge. We hopefully Brunson gets in there,
Hey,
so
man.
a lot of Knicks showing out in the All-Star for the All-Star weekend. But in saying all of that, we also need to close out strong and go into All Star Week and being the talk of the week. And like, yo, the Knicks actually did pretty good. They got Josh Hart, finished strong. They beat the Sixers a couple times. They beat the Cavs. They got a lot of quality wins under their belt. There's a team that we got to watch out for in the playoffs, and hopefully that's the case, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it all unfolds, but I'm also, there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered with this team.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I just want to read a Twitter poll I had put on the Knicks fans wall and uh, Twitter handle, and I asked, how would you grade the Knicks trade deadline? And 58 votes so far, 52% of the votes coming in at a B, which is a little surprising for me. I personally picked a B minus because it was like a solid move, but not really a needle mover move. I feel like B is pessimistic, but that's how Knicks
What
fans
are,
are.
what are the options?
B, B minus, C/C minus, or F. 3% of the people voted F. Those are
You already know.
the,
You already know who those people are.
those are the toxic people. My God, Joshua Clinton. I know he's
Uh,
mad. I know he's mad that the Knicks traded his boy Cam Reddish. So I know he definitely voted for an F because he says the Knicks traded Cam and the first. Oh man,
uh,
that man was heated today. That man was on one today. But I think I speak for a lot of Knicks people. I liked him as a player. Don't get me wrong. I felt like he didn't get a fair shake, but I'm glad the Cam Reddish experiment is over. We move on. I mean, I don't think we're ever gonna move on because the day he scores 30 points, which he will, he's a good player. He will score 30 one of these days or 20, 25,
Mhm.
and it's just gonna be over.
And
He's just
I'll
not
tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing that he might score a couple 30-point games if the Blazers start losing some games and they end up going towards more of a rebuild and whatnot, and they start letting those young guys play and he start getting minutes. It's definitely gonna be
what
a
is going on in Portland, man? I saw a report randomly while the trades is going on, like Damian Lillard says he's he's um he's staying in Portland. Like, bro, what? Why are you so loyal to this squad, man? I don't
Yo,
know
he's
what's
never
going on.
leaving. Yeah, he
Yo,
never leaving.
I don't understand why, but hey, sometimes you you kind of your name lives on a little longer when you stick with a franchise, even though you don't win. The franchise itself, like you stay there, you're gonna be a Portland legend. And sometimes that players like that. I mean,
I
obviously Kobe
guess
Bryant, he's an NBA champion, but
no
um,
championship. Did you
it's
thinking
like
of
I
somebody?
can't compare him to Kobe. Honestly, it's kind of hard to find those players. Those players, it's hard to find those lifers. There's the Dirks, there's the Duncan, Ginobili, but all those guys are champions. So
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
Yeah, nah,
Karl
he's just
Malone.
loyal to a fault. Yeah, nah, he's just loyal to a fault. But that's the see, not even Karl Malone, because at least Karl Malone was in it every single year. It's just with
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Portland, it's a Bradley Beal situation where it's just like,
hmm
man, your team is not that good.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, man. There was no rumor for that man. It's gonna
Mhm.
be crazy off season. I think we're gearing up, and we'll see which star shakes out. But Zebo, give us some final thoughts, man. Here, Knicks trade deadline, post trade deadline show. Knicks 30-26, man. How you feeling, bro? Just tell us how you feeling, right?
Honestly, bro, I feel good, bro. I feel content. Like again, I already feel stressed just watching some of these games because you're absolutely right, man. Some of the inconsistencies. It was initially where we would start really hot, and then obviously going into that fourth quarter, that's when shit just hits the fan. But now the trend is where we're just starting really slow, and then we start to pick it up in the second, third quarter, and then fourth quarter you just gotta pray. You just gotta pray at that point, but. I mean, honestly, man, the season's been fun. Obviously, we're four games over 500, which is honestly what I expected because I did say 45 and 37, so I expected this team to be solid. So let's see. Like I said, I like the move with Josh Hart. I think one thing I will disagree is that I think is going to be a difference maker because I expect him to be in that rotation in the fourth quarter. Just based on his high basketball IQ, I feel like having him in that fourth quarter is somebody that we do need to make the right plays, make the right decisions. So I'm feeling good, bro. Morale is good right now. I'm about to see
Ooh,
Julius Randle in the All Star game. So yeah, man, I can't complain.
Zebo with a spicy take. So wait, are you saying Josh Hart is gonna close games out for the Knicks?
Yeah, I think so. I
Oof,
think so. I think
Mm.
it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Grimes and I think it's gonna be Grimes and Josh Hart.
closing out
I
the
really
games.
do.
So give me a closing lineup before I go to Don Juan.
Brunson, Hart, Hart, Grimes, Randall, and then obviously Mitch is injured, so
Wow,
Hartenstein.
Zebo with the RJ hate. What else can we expect? Don Juan, man, how you feeling here as we get up on the
Sheesh. I feel like old school Knicks,
Wait,
90s
give
style
me give
basketball.
me your closing lineup. Give me your closing lineup.
Oof. Wow, that's tough, man.
Ah,
Honestly, you putting me on the stand right now, man. I
nah,
plead,
gay.
I would like to plead the fifth, but you
You
know what? I
can't.
can't do that to the people. I can't do that to the people, man. I'm gonna throw a little something out there. I'm gonna say, damn, that's tough, man. I give it Brunson. I'm torn, man, because Quick has been playing great. Brunson, Quick, Hart,
Oh man, the Knicks fans
Randall,
wilding.
and Mitch, and well, until Mitch comes back,
Yeah,
Oh
whoever
man,
our backup center is.
whoever it is, it depends who's feeling it. I mean, we've been seeing some good minutes from both Sims and Hart, but let's go with I Hart as the get the Hart boys out there.
Zebo
Yeah,
and
it's
Don
tough, tough,
Juan.
tough. I mean, hey, RJ just needs to step it up. We haven't seen it this year. He's been a bit of a liability on both ends of the floor. He definitely has had some good nights, but he's also has had some bad nights as well.
Now
But
Is I Triple M don't want to admit that though. He's still he's the RJ apologist. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's not the only one, man. He's not the only one, and I was that at one point this year. He's definitely he's hurt me. I'm not gonna lie, he's hurt me a lot. But I'm excited to see how the season unfolds, man. We got a really good team, a gritty team. I feel like we're going back to this '90s style low scoring game. As you saw these last two games against the Sixers and Magic, both low scoring, ugly games, very physical, and that's what's gonna take to win games with these Knicks. I'm not sure the stat. We're 22-1 when teams score under 110, and if we keep
Hmm.
doing that, playing some defense, making it hard on another team to score, I feel like we're always gonna be in it, and that's pretty much the tip style of play, but also based on the players that we have is pretty much the heart and soul of this team. So we just gotta, like I said, keep it physical, make it hard on the team to score, and we're gonna be in the game. Not just the question is, how's our fourth quarter execution gonna be? And that's something that I've been, I think I said my New Year's resolution was that fourth quarter execution, and as of late we have been playing better, showing out in these fourth quarters and closing out. But let's see.
Nah, yeah, man. I'm gonna hold it down for the squad. And typical Knicks fans, while and both Don Juan and Zebo said, I mean, Josh Hart. That's gonna be like a crazy thing to get used to for the year. Josh Hart, I Hart, whatever. But I'm going Brunson. I'm going Grimes because he's been hitting some big shots for us and playing defense. So I can't take my boy out the closing lineup. And I'm going RJ.
Mm.
How are you guys just discounting the fact that RJ probably is one, besides Brunson, is one of the most clutchest players on this team? Do not, Zebo, I see you in the bottom putting your eyes up. Don't make me get Julius Randle stats in that fourth quarter because it's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty.
Oh
RJ
man.
hit that big shot in Boston. I can go on and on. He steps up in the fourth quarter. He might be struggling all game. Even the last game against the Magic, he was struggling the whole first half. And third quarter, fourth quarter, he banked the shot, and it kind of woke him up. So I can't believe y'all just throwing my man RJ on the bench to close the lineup. But RJ, I got you, bro. I got you. You still in
Mm.
my closing lineup. You got to go Julius Randle, and you got to go Mitchell Robinson, whoever that the healthy starting center is, man. Can't believe y'all. Cannot believe y'all
Hey,
got. But you already know the vibes, man. Knicks fans wilding in the building, giving y'all a post trade deadline recap. Be on the lookout, man. Next week is All Star break, but we'll probably tune in, kind of give a recap of the first half of the season. That should be a good show. We're gonna look at our takes before the season. Zebo was on record. He said 45 and 37, so it's gonna be spicy. We're gonna take a look at that. So that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be fun. So make sure to tap in. Uh, Don Juan Zebo, gotta say anything before we get up out of here?
Hey, maybe RJ is listening, and it creates a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, and he steps up and close out strong, man.
All right, I like it. I like the energy, man. Y'all already know the vibes, man. We out of here. Peace.